All right, let's see this. The escape of Europe's smartest. What? Hold on. The escape of European. Can I read? Damn. The escape of Europe's smartest criminal. All right, let's see this. Please don't hit me with an ad. I knew it, nigga. See, this is why you don't get an ad blocker and just get YouTube Premium. But that's just never happening because I'm cheap and I only spend money on $5 McDonald's meals. Sorry,
$40 million had just disappeared.
Yo, no spoilers, no spoilers. July 20th, 1976.
It was gone. In a single morning, more than $40 million had just disappeared from one of France's biggest banks. When the police finally...
Whoa. I was trying to... I was damn, I'm tweaking, bro. I was trying to adjust the volume. What did he say?
Had just disappeared.
How much?
It was gone. In a single morning, more than $40 million had just disappeared from one of France's biggest banks.
Someone got away with the $40 million heist and didn't send me nothing?
When the police finally got into the vault, it was obvious that this was no ordinary bank robbery.
No, they went Pablo on niggas went underground.
The thieves had tunneled all the way from the sewers and straight through the concrete walls of the vault. When inside, they ransacked.
Bro, I thought this was only in movies and stuff. When you go inside an actual vault and there's actually cash in it. You're telling me, wait, this is a 1976. Obviously, it's gonna be like this.
Safe deposit boxes, taking gold, cash, and precious jewels before vanishing back into the sewers. It's not every day that you suddenly decide to rob a bank. But in September 1974, that's exactly what happened to Albert Spaggiari. He had just become a customer of the Société Générale and went to drop off some money into his safe deposit box.
So
when he was
that's
inside
how
the
it
vault,
used to work?
he noticed
you dead would just be in a safe and then you would just put all your belongings in this little ass safe. My nigga, you're just better off just keeping it at the crib, bro. What the fuck? What's the point of this? Like, okay, I understand if you want to keep it in a safe spot so you don't get tempted to use it all the time. But my nigga, there's like 800 different people that come inside this vault checking for their shit, gang. Yo, I'm gonna lie, I'm never keeping my money in there if I was one of the people in the 1976 or in the 72 or whenever it was, bro. This concept to me is just insane, bro. I don't know why.
that there wasn't a single alarm in the entire vault.
No alarm, too.
To make sure he was correct,
I swear to God, I feel like people back in the day had no common sense. Like, they were just so dumb.
placed an alarm clock inside his safe deposit box and set it to go off at 1 a.m. If there was an alarm, surely the sound of his clock would trigger it. That evening, Albert waited in a bar across the street, and when 1 a.m. arrived, nothing happened. At this point, he knew he was going to rob the bank, but he still had no idea how. Then, when he was scoping out the exterior of the bank, he overheard a conversation.
Tu as entendu qu'il projette de construire un métro à Nice?
Un métro? Je pensais qu'on ne pouvait rien construire de souterrain ici à cause de la...
This is how all the stories start, bro. This is like the Mona Lisa one. There's always this one guy that's lurking around hearing news. He learned that they're moving paintings and stuff, and then he was like, yo, this is the perfect time. Same script every
Tu
time.
ne sais pas qu'il y a d'énormes égouts souterrains?
Nice a de grands égouts? Comme à Paris?
Bien sûr, espèce d'idiot. Les égouts sont tellement grands qu'on pourrait faire passer un camion.
Suddenly, it clicked in
Bro,
Albert's
it's
head.
always the strangers giving the
Nice used
nicest
to have a river
alley-oops,
running
bro.
through its center, where many of the old sewer lines fed into. But after decades of building on top of the river, this area was now completely underground, and enormous tunnels had been built to handle the river during a flood. If one of these sewer tunnels went anywhere near the bank, it could allow Albert to dig his way into the vault without anyone noticing. Albert managed to get his hands on blueprints of the city's sewer system. According to these, there was a ramp underneath the convention center that led down into the city's main sewage tunnels. From there, a service road inside the tunnel followed the old river until it reached the Masséna Plaza. Then, a smaller
How bad
sewage
you
tunnel broke
actually have
off
to
and
be to
ran
go inside
underneath the street.
sewers and shit to get some money. Like, understand, you feel me? You're popping shit, but it's like, you're willing to like, low key though, back in the day, I'm guessing everyone got away with some devious crimes, bro. So it's probably not as crazy as it is now. Cause now it's like, bro, it's like you're guaranteed to get caught and shit. But back then it's like, yo, I feel like damn near more successful to get away with it than to not get away with it. It's crazy.
And crucially, right past the bank. Being the well-connected criminal that he was, Albert quickly pulled together a team of around 20 men. He had tunneling experts, plumbers, electricians, welders. These guys were professionals, and all they needed now was the equipment.
So he went and stole a bank to get money. But did he hire these people or did he just call them? Because there's no way he got 20 people on board for free to steal a whole bank, my nigga, or steal money from a bank. So you're telling me he was already rich to start with? Or am I just
To
slow?
be extra cautious, Albert traveled all across France and Europe, buying things in small quantities to leave no obvious trace. The idea was that all of the equipment left behind after the heist would lead the police on a wild goose chase, one that would ultimately lead them nowhere. With everything bought,
Okay, so it seems like he is low-key well off. Like, you can't buy all this equipment and call yourself broke. So you're telling me this nigga had money and you still wanted to rob a bank? That's what we like to call greed, my nigga. Holy shit. Yo, you got money, gang. Live your life. Enjoy your life. Go play on some shit.
rats could now start
Because
digging.
it does say the escape. So
Some of the team entered the
knows?
sewers via the ramp and drove over a mile to reach the sewage tunnel. From there, they had to walk around 300 meters to reach the crucial digging point. The rest of the gang entered the sewers through an access room in an underground parking garage. From there, the crew ran an enormous electrical cable from the outlet in the parking garage down into the sewers, giving them power for lights and tools.
Oh
Like a
my
well-oiled
God.
machine,
They had this whole
started
shit
drilling,
situated, bro.
removing tons of rock and piling it up in an unused part of the sewer. To avoid any suspicion from the town's sewage workers, they cemented up the entrance of their tunnel to make it look identical to the other tunnel entrances. Once they were done for the night, they'd leave all of their equipment covered up inside a hole in the tunnel and quietly make their way out. For 2 months, the team went down into the sewers and worked on their tunnel. Many of the crew were above ground on lookout with radios that allowed them
What?
to warn the crew if anyone was
So you're telling me they never got caught? 2 months?
entering the sewer.
Yo, the police are literally getting money for no reason, bro. What is this? Is my cam mad high? Hold on.
The whole operation
Actually, let
was
me not
so
touch it.
professional, and after 2 months of straight digging, they knew they had to be getting close. Then, one night in July, the crew finally hit the concrete walls of the vault. But the timing was terrible.
Oh my God, there's someone
That
on the other
weekend, the
side.
president of France had made a last-minute visit to Nice, and there were enormous amounts of police and security in the city. It was not the time to be robbing a bank. Albert decided to call off the heist until the following weekend, which was a holiday weekend. This meant that the bank would be closed, giving the crew more time
That's
to
the
break in
best
and
time.
get as much as
But how did they calculate it? I'm starting to think like, damn, they must have been mad advanced. They had to like calculate where that shit is. I guess that if you have a map, it's Gucci, bro. You don't even
possible.
need to do much.
In the meantime,
There's not much effort
Albert
that
had
goes
some
into it, I
other
guess.
matters to attend to. Since he was the mayor's photographer, he was actually a guest at the president's event. Just hours before this picture was taken, Albert was down in the tunnel, digging his way to the city's biggest bank.
Wow.
He was managing the whole operation incredibly
See, I
well.
don't get how people don't
and it
get
was all
paranoid.
thanks to Odu. Just kidding.
That's the sponsor of this
isn't-
video? Yeah. See, like, try to get me to watch an ad, boy. I'm good off that.
After hours of chipping away at the reinforced concrete, the sewer rats now had their first glimpse inside the vault.
Wow.
The bank would be opening up on Monday morning.
Damn, imagine, bro, maybe they couldn't, but imagine they came in from the other side where the actual, like, loot is. Bro, they could just steal it from there, bro. Now it's just like, I feel like it's a lot worse, bro. Why couldn't they just come in from the sides, you know?
So the crew had just over 30 hours to get in, take as much as possible, and leave through the sewers without getting caught. Later that evening, the hole was finally big enough for the gang to enter the vault. After months of digging, it was time to start the heist.
Oh my God.
Over the next 30 hours, the gang went crazy,
They
prying open
loaded
the
it.
safe deposit boxes and taking as much as they could. They found everything: stacks of gold bars, cash, jewels, stock certificates, and even some saucy photographs of
Stock certificates is like, oh, stock's gross. So it's like, bro, this stock is damn near better than the cash at that point, bro.
high-up politicians, which the
Wait, what? They had private photos. Hold on now. Let me go back.
much as they could. They found everything: stacks of gold bars, cash, jewels, stock certificates, and even some saucy photographs of high-up politicians, which the crew hung on the walls of the
What?
tunnel.
Yo. Yo, this might be the most gangster heist I've ever heard of, bro. Ever seen or heard of, bro.
After 30 hours,
Bro, imagine you rob a bank and then have a dinner and then put the leaks on the wall. Oh my God. You know what, bro? For the swag points, I hope he got away, bro. Fuck it.
the crew
I'm not with
finally
the
took a
crime
break,
and all that because
had
I'm a
dinner
good black
inside the
boy.
vault,
But
and celebrated
shit,
with
bro.
bottles of red wine. But time was almost up. And at 5 a.m. on Monday morning, they packed up the last bit of treasure and left the vault,
They wrote
leaving
on the
behind
wall.
one final message on the wall. They loaded the stash into the getaway car and disappeared into the city just before sunrise.
Oh my
A
god.
few hours later at 8 a.m., the bank was getting ready to open. One of the workers went to open the vault door, but surprisingly, it didn't move. The lock mechanism was working perfectly, but the door just would not open.
They probably jammed it
As
on
it
the
turned
side.
out, just before the crew had left the vault, they had welded the door shut, buying them some extra time. After several hours of confusion, the bank decided to drill their way into the vault. And only
What the fuck? Gang, this is the craziest heist I've ever seen.
then was it obvious what had happened.
Ici la Société Générale. Nous venons d'être cambriolés.
Ne touchez à rien, nous arrivons.
It might seem like the police had a lot of evidence. Equipment had been littered across the vault and in the sewers. Surely something would lead to one of the thieves. But amazingly, not a single fingerprint was found.
Bro,
The crew had worn
came in,
gloves the
came out.
entire time.
They gotta add this
Even the
heist to
urine
GTA,
came
bro.
back with no
Good
results,
homage. They might
since
as well.
multiple people had urinated in every single bottle. Albert and his crew had thought of everything. But what he didn't know was that the events that would lead to his arrest had
This is all before ChatGPT 2. Oh my god, he's a genius.
already taken place 2 weeks before the heist. Up in the mountains, the police were called to a villa. Normally, this villa was empty, but the neighbor had seen a suspicious group of men constantly leaving and entering the villa. When the police questioned the men, they simply said that they had permission from the owner to use the villa. Something wasn't right, but there was nothing more the police could do, so they took down the names of the men and left.
Bro, you gotta
But
get
when the
up and out
heist
there.
later became headline use all over the country, the police officers couldn't shake their suspicion that the villa had something to do with the heist. And so, they got a search warrant and returned to the villa.
But they're up and out of there though.
After 100 days of the investigation leading nowhere, they were about to get their first clue. Inside the villa, the place was full of tools, equipment, and dirty clothes, all identical to those found in the sewers. Two of the men from the villa, Alain Bornat and Francis Pellegrin, were arrested.
Damn.
And almost immediately, they told the police everything, even naming Albert Spaggiari as
Oh
the
my
mastermind
god, they
behind-
creased under the pressure. I'm glad I'm doing the same. Damn, bro. I'm glad if I'm taking the blame, everyone's going out with me. No one's going out happy taking all the cash, boy. Everyone's going down. This is a sinking ship.
behind the whole thing. The police were finally getting somewhere. Now, they had to find their biggest target. But Albert was gone.
Head honcho dipped.
Just a few days after the heist, he fled the country and spent the next 2 months traveling through Guatemala and the US. When he was there, he even made a phone call to the CIA and admitted to being the mastermind behind the heist.
Oh my god, I know that was the worst 2 months of his life, bro. Gang, imagine waking up every day thinking, oh my god, this might be my last day of freedom. But that's scary. See, that's just not worth it, bro. You know, might get that little adrenaline boost, dopamine rush, don't know what to call it, in the beginning when you get all that bread. But then it's like, damn, you can't even live your life for real. You just got a bunch of bread to do what, you know?
He was getting overconfident and eventually returned to Nice.
Oh,
and
never mind. I
continued
take
living
that
his
back.
life.
He didn't give two fucks, bro.
Then, one morning, while having lunch with his wife in a cafe, Albert was approached by the waitress.
Monsieur Spaggiari, il y a une femme à l'extérieur qui souhaiterait vous parler.
Ah, mais qui ça peut bien être?
When he walked out, he was instantly surrounded by police officers and arrested.
God, his bitch ass. This nigga's smiling. He don't care.
Over the next 36 hours, the police interrogated Albert, but he refused to give them any information.
But he already
It
said he
wasn't
did
until
it.
his first court appearance that he finally started to talk.
Je n'ai aucun regret.
Oh.
Je n'ai pas agi par intérêt personnel. J'ai effectué une opération militaire. Vous n'avez pas idée de ce que nous avons trouvé dans ce coffre. La seule valeur des bijoux eux-mêmes dépassait de loin celle de l'or et des espèces. Je n'ai pas gardé un seul centime de ma part du butin. Cet argent est parti pour aider les populations démunies de la Yougoslavie, du Portugal.
Now do I believe him? Low-key, no. Hell no, bro. That's good lies. He kept every single penny.
Et de l'Italie.
Very little of what Albert said in court was accurate. He was just playing with the police and wasting the judge's time. Over the winter, Albert went to court every week.
Oh my
and
god,
continued
bro.
to
This
give vague
nigga dead
and inaccurate
gangster
information.
gang.
But on his 20th visit to the court, things would go a bit different.
20th?
As always, Albert was taken up to the judge's office, where the police uncuffed him and locked the doors. The week before, Albert had promised the judge that he would give him a detailed description of how the heist went down. And so, Albert pulled out a piece of paper and put it on the judge's desk.
Voilà, je vous ai...
Here's everything you wanted to know. See, I'm a bit lost now. 20 court dates. My nigga, he's found guilty, bro. I'm so confused. What do they want more, bro? Okay, you want to interrogate him to get the whole crew, but he's literally admitted, yes, I stole all the loot. I took all the loot. Gang, put him in prison, bro. What do they want?
J'ai dit tout ce que vous vouliez savoir.
C'est quoi tout ça? Ça n'a aucun sens.
Ne vous inquiétez pas, je vais vous montrer. Voici la table d'exposition, et ici...
Suddenly, Albert ran to the nearest window, threw it open, and jumped out.
What?
He landed on a ledge, rolled, and jumped onto a car that was parked below,
Oh, this
making
shit's
a
out of
giant
a
dent in the
movie.
roof. Right beside the car was a motorbike. with the
Oh
rider
my
revving his
God.
engine. Albert hopped on,
Yo.
and in just a matter of seconds, he was gone. The French borders were closed and all flights leaving the country were canceled. But it was too late. Albert had vanished.
Oh!
As it turned out, Albert had fled to South America, and with the help of plastic surgery and a wig, he was now living in disguise. A few months after his escape,
This
he sent a
nigga's
picture of
elite.
himself to a local newspaper saying, "Greetings from Albert." He even sent the owner of the car that he damaged $600 and
Oh my God. This is the greatest heist I've ever seen in my life, bro. And he did it with swag. See, that's the most important part. Not only did he do... Okay, now I take it back. Low-key, I don't think he kept the money, bro. I just think he just did it for the laughs and giggles and for the love of the game, bro. He actually gave the money to the poor. Bro, this nigga is actually doing the greatest heist I've ever seen with swag, bro. Oh my God.
apology note.
Yo.
In France, the courts had sentenced him to life in prison.
But it don't
But he
matter.
still managed to come back every now and then and visit his mom and his wife. In the end,
Bro,
just
that
4
country's
men
a
were
joke,
convicted
bro.
and only served about 6 months in jail.
6 months?
Albert lived the rest of his life as a free man until he eventually died of cancer in 1989.
Tout s'est bien passé, l'évasion, vous êtes tout de même en cavale. Alors maintenant, qu'est-ce qui va se passer?
On va continuer à fumer des Havanes, boire du Dom Pérignon, avec
Why you fake look like Michael
plus belles
Jackson?
filles du monde, c'est dans les plus beaux coins du monde.
Bro, we dead don't care. Nigga got veneers, plastic surgery, beard, glasses. He's a whole new man. Oh my God. Hey man, if you're ever gonna rob a bank, which you shouldn't for sure 100%, or else, you feel me, you're gonna get life in prison and all that, do it like this guy. Cause he did it with swag. Should I pay homage?